Hi everybody, this is Valerie Greguire, Natural Health Consultant. I'm here to talk to you today about strengthening your immune system. And in particular, we're going to talk about one of the ways that the immune system will manifest as being weak, and that has to do with when the shingles virus is present in the body. Now, most of you know that the shingles virus is somehow related to the chickenpox virus, right? They're actually the same virus. They're the herpes zoster virus, okay? And this is the chickenpox virus is dormant in the body once your immune system overcomes it when you're small, and then it lays dormant in the body for years. But at a certain point in your life, you may become run down. Your immune system becomes weak. And in that case, that's when the herpes or the herpes zoster, the shingles virus, gets to raise its ugly head and become active again. So when you're talking about the shingles virus and helping someone to overcome a flare-up of this virus, I'm going to call it a flare-up because it's already dormant in the body and then all of a sudden it pops up, right? So we're talking about overcoming the flare-up in the body. We are not talking in natural health about killing a virus. You're not trying to kill the virus, okay? The virus has been dormant in the body probably around 50 years if you're typically getting a flare-up around age 60. It's been dormant and you've been fine. You've been walking around healthy, whatever, and then all of a sudden it flares up. So it can live in the body without causing you harm. It can become dormant, but it flares up when the immune system gets run down. So technically, I almost think it's a good thing because it's telling you, hey, pay attention, my immune system's weak. I can't control things in my environment and in the body anymore. So you might consider it kind of a blessing because it gives you a big warning that you need to take care of your immune system. Now, so today we're talking about strengthening the immune system, not killing a virus, not fighting disease, okay? We don't do that in natural medicine. We work on the root cause of supporting the body's natural ability to heal itself. Its natural ability to, you get a cut, it heals itself. You don't have to do magic to it, okay? The body already knows how to do this. But when it forgets, we got to help remind it. Or maybe something happened that it doesn't have the right ingredients to do the job. And that's what I'm talking about with the shingles virus because I think that is one of the key factors, okay? Now, the number one trace mineral that I think is important when you're dealing with a shingles virus is the trace mineral zinc. Now, zinc is a trace mineral, which means it's not abundant in the soil. It's not abundant in our food supply. And it's actually one of the higher sources is red meat, which a lot of people don't eat, okay? So it's not one of the easiest minerals to get. It's needed in keeping your blood sugar stable. So it's also needed by the adrenal glands to deal with stress. It's needed by men to make semen for ejaculation, okay? So you're going to lose, you have a lot of sex, you're going to lose a lot of zinc, okay? And then for female reproductive, it's good for the hormones there too. So it's a very, very important mineral, activates over 200 different enzyme systems in the body. So it's got a big job. So if you get low in zinc, you'll typically see some symptoms that has to do with the skin. You're going to see rashes, hives, tendency to have a dermatitis reaction, acne, wounds that don't heal. You know, the shingles virus, once it pops out on the skin and makes these terrible little sores, they take over 2 weeks to heal. Well, no, you know, that's a long time for a healing process for the skin. You should be able to heal very quickly. But because there's not enough zinc in the body, you can't even heal up the sores from the shingles virus, okay? Now, where did all this zinc go to? Well, okay, besides the fact that it's not abundant in the diet, but for vegetarians, pumpkin seeds is a real good source, okay? But it's depleted when you eat a diet that's high in sugar, high in carbohydrates, and processed foods. And that's a typical American diet. And that's also typically, if you go into the age 60, 70 years old, where people tend to get the shingles flare-ups, you're going to see someone who's been living on that type of a diet for a while. And so the zinc gets depleted just because of too much sugar. You get a cafe latte in the morning, you got somewhere 45 grams of carbohydrates, 20 some grams of sugar. You know, the zinc is being used up just trying to process all that sugar coming into the body. So now you got an underlying virus that the body has a job of just keeping dormant, and all of a sudden it doesn't have enough zinc to do that. So you see how this rolls over into poor diet equals weak immune system equals a virus flare-up, okay? Now, on top of the zinc, well, I got some notes here, so I try not to talk too long. You know how I like to talk, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, calcium. That's another big mineral. It's a macro mineral, so there's tons of it in the environment, but we're often taking in pretty poor choices or poorly absorbed calcium. And again, if we're dealing with people in the range of the 60s, they might be concerned about osteoporosis, and so their doctor might have said to take some calcium. A lot of times I see them taking calcium carbonate form, which is really hard to absorb because you need hydrochloric acid in the stomach to absorb it. And as you age, you make less hydrochloric acid. So it's a very poorly absorbed calcium. So the body can't use it too well. And then a lot of times they'll take calcium citrate with vitamin D, which is a good form of calcium, but it doesn't have the magnesium, which is needed to help absorb the calcium. Now, why is calcium important when we're talking about the shingles virus? Because calcium stops the replication of viruses. It's used by the immune system to stop them from replicating. So in order to become active, if your body sees that a virus is starting to become active, it's going to need some calcium to get that back down and in remission again. But if you got a diet again, white flour, white sugar, processed foods, soda pop, big calcium dumper, you know, these are things that are making your blood acidic, okay? This type of diet makes your blood acidic. Well, your body cannot have acidic blood. It can't function that way. So it's got to alkalize it. Well, what buffers acid? Calcium, okay? That's why you're taking Tums, but don't take Tums, okay? But the Tums is calcium carbonate, that poorly absorbed calcium I was telling you about. That's one of the forms, okay? But you don't want to you want to neutralize the acid and get it out of the blood so the blood becomes more alkaline. And so the body uses calcium to do that. So if the calcium's in your diet or in your multiple vitamin, even though you're taking that, but you're eating that way, you don't have enough to go around, so it's going to rob it out of the bones, okay? It's not unusual to have the body take like 700 milligrams of calcium out of the bones in a single day trying to fix the blood, okay? So it's no wonder there's not enough calcium to keep viruses in remission. And that doesn't mean just the shingles virus. You know, when you go to fight the flu, your body's doing the same thing. It's looking for some calcium to stop that flu virus from replicating. Why do we get so achy as soon as we start to fight a virus? That's kind of that sign of all that calcium being pulled out of the joints and the imbalance that it occurs, okay? So I think that. I don't know if that's true, but that seems to be the factor, because if I take some calcium, I don't get the achiness if I'm fighting a virus, okay? 1 + 1 is 2. That's my opinion, okay? Now, magnesium, I said, was needed to help calcium absorb. Magnesium's a mineral that is pretty deficient in everybody's diet, and guess what? It's needed for blood sugar control. So again, typical Americans, we're eating too much carbohydrates, too many sugars, we're pumping our blood full of it, and every time we do it, we need magnesium to work with the insulin, to get the insulin factor working, to get that the blood sugar level lowered and get it out of the blood. Can't have acid in the blood, can't have a ton of sugar in the blood. Okay, so now we're depleting zinc, we're depleting magnesium. Without the magnesium, we don't absorb the calcium. Without the calcium, we can't keep the virus in remission. Okay, pretty easy. But guess what? Magnesium, huge factor for the nervous system. What does the shingles virus do? It attacks the nerves on the skin. And what happens when you're low in magnesium? The nerves become hypersensitive to pain. Shingles is very, very painful. The nerves are hypersensitive to pain. Goes to make sense. Magnesium's low. Okay? Oh, B-complex. B-complex is a huge vitamin for the nervous system. So if shingles is manifesting as a virus that's attacking the nerves, then the nervous system is run down along with the immune system being run down. That's why they say shingles flares up when people get under stress, right? Okay. Well, without enough B vitamins, your nervous system doesn't repair properly. It's not healthy, and it becomes more edgy and sensitive to pain and doesn't work properly. So if I had shingles, I'd be taking a B complex. I'd be getting those B's back into me, okay? All right, lecithin. Lecithin's a nutrient that's in egg yolks, okay? And it is excellent, excellent for repairing the myelin sheath around the nerves. That's your protective coating around the nerves, just like an electrical wire has that protective coating of plastic-like rubber, I guess, around the wires. Well, the myelin sheath is that same protective coating, but when you get low in the nutrients I've been talking about, and when you get low in the lecithin, that myelin sheath gets frayed and the nerves are more exposed. So in the case of shingles, you've got probably some myelin sheath breakdown because those nerves are hot, irritated, fried, okay? They are really painful. So I'm guessing myelin sheath breakdown, I need some lecithin. Now, Nature's Sunshine makes a lecithin in a capsule that I actually like a lot. I've used it a lot with people that have various forms of neuropathy or nerve pain, and it really helps to restore the nerves so that they're not so sensitive. So I would think about the lecithin and the magnesium and the B complex as part of restoring the nerves, the function, their health, and their ability to just function properly so that the virus isn't able to get in there and attack them so easily. Now, your immune system is run down. Well, we know for sure that we're talking about the gut then. We're talking about the intestinal system where 80% of the immune system resides, okay? So that means that balance of good bacteria, bad bacteria is probably off balance. And the diet that we were talking about, plus high stress, destroys a lot of good bacteria in the intestinal tract. So I think about something like Nature's Sunshine's Probiotic 11, a very nice, very well-balanced probiotic that would help build up the good bacteria. I'd also think about their new Bacillus coagulans, which is a probiotic a little bit different, okay, but works on going against the bad microbes in the intestinal tract. If you want to learn more about that, watch my video on daily detox, because I talk about that and explain that, but I'm not going to go into that now. But think about the probiotics, think about the gut, possibility of cleansing, but you can't do big cleanses when people are run down. Just getting healthy greens in, spirulina, ultimate green zone. These are foods that nourish the liver, and the function of the immune system is dependent on a healthy liver as well. So you get some greens in there, the liver becomes more healthy. It's going to detox naturally. Milk thistle combination. Well, actually, you know, the daily detox formula wouldn't be bad to add on a shingles program. That would be a no-brainer right there. You could take that with some of these other supplements we talked about. Okay, stay away from wheat and corn, the GMO foods. Stay away from them. They are sprayed with Roundup, and that is that glyphosate. That's one of the main ingredients in the Roundup, which is an herbicide, is glyphosate. And glyphosate is the whole reason these GMO foods are there practically, is that they're resistant to the Roundup, the effects of it, so that people can spray the plants with double amounts of herbicide, kill everything around it, but doesn't hurt the plant. However, glyphosate kills the friendly microbes in the soil that the plant needs to convert the nutrients in the soil into food into the plant itself that we receive. Also, doesn't leave the plant, so when you eat the food sprayed with the Roundup, you're taking it into your body, affects the microbes in your gut as well. So you can see there's a whole process of got to clean up the diet, got to get that gut balanced, got to get the nutrients back in that you depleted because of the poor diet and because of stress. Okay? Now, because the person is run down, because they already have a shingles flare-up, then I would use herbs that typically support and kind of activate the immune system. So I would do that because the person's already in a rundown state. So I would think about Nature's Sunshine's Chinese VSC, echinacea, olive leaf. You can use colloidal silver or silver shield. Okay, I really like the echinacea just from previous years when my kids were little and all my friends had little kids with the chickenpox virus. The echinacea really seemed to help the body to overcome that quickly. And then the VSC, that formula doesn't have a whole lot of antiviral properties. It does have some, but it has these properties that benefit the liver, and it also has benefit of clearing heat in the blood. And so this overheat condition, well, the shingles is a hot condition with the pain and inflammation in the skin. So I think the VSC is well suited for that to help clear that heat out of the blood and cool the skin back down. So I might use a combination of VSC with echinacea or VSC with olive leaf. Any of those are going to be very beneficial in activating the immune system, giving it a boost, kind of lifting it up while it's tired out. L-Lysine is an amino acid that's very beneficial in stopping viral replication. And then the essential fatty acids, which come from your good your raw seeds and nuts and your salmon. You take your fish oils, your flaxseed oil. You need essential fatty acids to help keep viruses from duplicating again. And a typical diet might be very low in that. So think about that. Okay, last thing is topically. I would say that my favorite combination is to use Nature's Sunshine's jojoba oil, okay, as a base, a little squirt of aloe vera, because aloe vera is very cooling to hot skin, okay, so the jojoba oil, the aloe vera, and then a combination of lavender and a little bit of Roman chamomile. The lavender, I've just found that any of the herpes virus family does not like lavender, and often it'll bring that virus to draw away from where it is in the skin, so it seems like it draws it into remission very quickly. The jojoba oil seemed to be like a magic secret ingredient when I added it. It might be the fatty acids in the jojoba oil. It might be that it has some special property. I forgot to look it up before I told you this. And then the Roman chamomile is excellent with the nerves that are painful and frayed. It kind of calms them down. So that combination topically would help while you're rebuilding the immune system. So in closing, don't fight disease. Don't try to kill bacteria. Don't try to kill viruses. Strengthen the immune system, build up the health, change the diet, get the water in, change the mind, change the spirit, your whole approach to life. You're going to lift your body back up and restore health. You have a great day. Thanks. Bye.